Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome to another BRAP. It is Wednesday, January the 31st, 2024. Tomorrow is the 1st of February. Wow, this month of January just flew by so fast. But want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. Appreciate the support as always. Please do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And if you're new, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're alerted when we go live. So I have a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to give our PlayStation State of Play impressions. We have a big Palworld update related to Xbox. We discuss a little Suicide Squad. The reviews will be, well, some reviews have come out. I think I've seen 2 reviews, one from Xbox Era and one from Video Game Chronicles. So we'll discuss those reviews and some of the it seems like there's a lot of, I don't want to say controversy. It seems like a lot of conversation around this game. And we have some other gaming related news topics that we'll discuss as well. The panel will be rolling here shortly. We do have Eric Jackson, who's having some technical difficulties tonight with his mic. And we'll have Mr. Badbit from the Trophy Room podcast joining us here shortly. But we also have special returning guests. We have Creative Kofi with us. And Kofi, what a great time for you to join us tonight, because there's some JRPGs that are coming out here shortly.
Man, what a time to celebrate JRPGs, Japanese games and production in general. And I gotta, give a shout out to even our distant, fellow entertainment in Korea with Shift Up and Stellar Blade, because man, I was just excited with everything I saw, at this State of Play. But in general, Atlas Gods is the term that I think you and I always mention. And with Persona 3 Reload right around the corner, I think that comes out 2 days, right? The 2nd. And of course, we just rolled off of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, or Like a Dragon 8. And then, of course, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I couldn't be happier. This is a great time, and then, of course, a lot of these reviews have been really positive. So, definitely going to be a lot I have to give my feedback on once I get my hands on these games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this, Kofi, that this year has started off, I think, at least in my opinion, pretty strong with video games. I mean, we always talk about how great 2023 was, but there's some really good games that have come out. I mean, if you just look at the reviews like Metacritic, OpenCritic, if you just look at those, the consensus, some of the reviews for these games, pretty positive. Persona 3 Reload sitting at 89 right now on Metacritic based on 53 critic reviews. And you're right, the Atlas Gods. This is a game that I am excited to play, and it is. And look, kudos to Xbox, by the way, to Microsoft for getting this game to release on Game Pass. I think that's huge. It's a huge get. I know we talked about that on Crossfire a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
but that's a big get, Kofi. Like, seriously, the hats off to them for that.
Yeah, I was actually, when they had Persona, not just, Reload, but to have Persona 4 Golden, and then, the advertisements for their new upcoming IP, Metaphor, I thought was a really strong showcase, because I just feel like Atlas they're kind of in their stride right now. A lot of what they've done with, obviously coming off like Persona 5, and then Thimagami Tensei 5, which I love the Tensei series now. It's been a really good look. So I was not expecting them to, I was expecting Xbox to be the first space that we saw advertisements for Metaphor. But I'm glad that they're getting an opportunity. I just hope the game is purchased a lot, because it really looks great. It really looks great, all of it.
I agree, and Atlas. I mean, again, the Atlas Gods. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of the last console generation. Phenomenal game. I think I spent about 125 hours in the game. What a story! It's so. I mean, some of the plot twist. I don't like. Is it okay to talk about some of the things that happen in game? I mean, I know this game released back in.
I'm okay with it because
was it 2015? I don't remember now.
So if you're talking about vanilla, it was 2017 in the US, 2016 in Japan. But for the R, I forget what the R stands for. Um, Royale, right? Royale was for it released in the States in 2021, I think, and Japan in 2020. Sorry, I'm trying to memorize both regions. I don't know if you want to talk about Royale spoilers. I'd love to.
No,
Was there some
just
part?
that one scene with Joker where you think he's done, and then it's like, what? Wait a minute, what just happened?
Oh yeah,
Like, just like, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just a great
yeah,
game. And so yeah, so I'm going to be playing this on PC Game Pass. I actually just resubbed back into the PC Game Pass subscription service because of Persona 3 Reload, and then because of the other games that they showed at their developer direct, like Avowed and Hellblade 2 and Indiana Jones. So that's but back to the JRPGs. I mean, it's just awesome to see some of these. I saw it was really cool to see a lot of the excitement over Grand Blue Fantasy Relink after
yeah.
the demo came out. I saw quite a few people who were saying, "Wow, this," and I was one of them. This game wasn't on my radar, and I saw other people share the
Yeah.
same sentiment. Like, "Hey, this is a game that's not on my radar, and I'm going to pick it up now." I think it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, like to be honest, I thought this game was going to die when Platinum Games was first being. We thought that Platinum Games was one of the key components of development, right? When it was announced 7 or whatever and a half years ago, and when they were removed, I was like, "Oh, this game gonna come out dead." I thought it was going to be as dead as the other Platinum Games. What's that other Platinum Games game that died? And it was a service game. Um, Babylon's Fall, was it? Babylon something. I thought Grand Blue Fantasy Relink was about to have the same fate as that.
Oh
But for them
wow.
to come all 7 years and stick it through, and then to play like it plays, I was enthralled. Um, that was that was huge. And another thing I wanted to mention really quick is, over in Japan, they use a rating system that basically takes the opinions of four different writers or four different reviewers, and they give a score out of 10. And that Infinite Wealth got a 40 out of 40, which
Yeah,
is,
the
I
Famitsu's
think that's,
fame 40 out of 40.
yeah, which,
Yeah.
I think the last game to receive that was Tsushima. But I think I heard, I actually have to do some research, or if somebody in the chat knows this, I think that Yakuza 5 actually also received that score way back on the PlayStation 3. So I guess kind of embracing the series to get back to, one of those pinnacle type scores is just really exciting. Obviously, Famitsu is not like the gold standard or anything, but it's just nice to see that the community has reacted really well to
Famitsu is the gold standard.
it. And another thing, just you were talking about games in general. I have to give a shout out to Tekken. I'm not a huge Tekken fan, but the reviews sound really great. I love the characters. I don't really like the combat of Tekken, but I think it's worth mentioning. All the hype reactions and the custom mods that we've seen, the demand for Tifa to be added to Tekken
Mm-hmm.
8, and all that stuff. So yeah, great
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah, no, and for those who don't know, Famitsu has 4 separate reviewers, and so to get that 40 out of 40 is I think kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely a milestone for them.
yeah, so so Grand Blue Fantasy Relinks at an 80 right now, Metacritic. That game comes out tomorrow, and Persona 3 Reload comes out Friday. I mean, just so many games to play right now. It's just it's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have.
And,
Yeah, I mean, this
Hey,
is
can
wow.
you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can
you
hear you
sound
loud and
great.
clear. You sound great. E.
Okay. Well, my mic died, so I'm trying this through the AirPods. So I have no idea how that's going to go, and I actually have no idea because I didn't really fully charge them, so I have no idea how long that's going to last. But
All right, well,
all right, we'll improvise. We'll go with it.
Yeah, we'll make do, E. So, E, by the way, welcome back to BRAP. It's great to have you on. Happy you could join us today. And we were just discussing some of the, as you know, Kofi's a huge JRPG fan. We were talking about a lot of the JRPGs that are coming out. Persona 3 Reload tomorrow. I'm sorry, Friday. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink tomorrow. Also, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out this coming February, next month. And just overall, I feel like 2023 has been a great year. I'm sorry, not 2023. 2023 was a great year for gaming, but 2024 is actually kicked off with a little bit of a bang here. It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to play right now. So
I think Benji Sales posted like a tweet that kind of just listed everything in February, and it's pretty long, man.
Yeah, it's stacked. So Kofi mentioned the new Yakuza game that just came out, which received a 40 out of 40 for Famitsu. That
Infinite
game,
Wealth.
Yeah, Infinite Wealth. I haven't played it yet. I'm still.
Neither have I.
I'm still dabbling.
I haven't either.
Baldur's Gate 3.
I want to.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So E, like, what is there anything that are you going to be picking up Persona 3 Reload, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink?
Eventually, not anytime soon, man. Because like I'm still catching up on 2023 games. Like I don't know, like you saw, I literally just started on Lies of P.
Okay.
So I'll be rocking with that for a while, and I'm not even guaranteeing that I'll be, because I still have that. I still have RE4 remake to get through. I still have Cyberpunk and the DLC from that to get through, and then like Final Fantasy. Rebirth is coming. A lot of stuff, man.
That's going to be a whole blocked off 2 weeks for me with Rebirth.
Yeah, that's. I think that's
so I have this thing.
Be the case for a lot of people.
I'm very intense. I'm sure you know of Genki on Twitter, and Genki is like the guy. Like if there's any new footage, Genki's going to tweet it. And I am the antithesis of any knowledge of Rebirth. Obviously, I've played the base game, but I know. I've seen almost nothing of Rebirth. I'm just going in completely blind, but it's getting more and more difficult.
Same.
Because every time I scroll, Genki would be like, "Look at Yuffie's new attack." I'd be like, "Oh my gosh," because I really just want to be like, I'm 12 years old again, playing this brand new chapter. So, we'll see how it goes.
Because I had like a delusion of grandeur that I was gonna like try to run through remake again before Rebirth. I don't know how that's gonna happen, man. I never seem to be caught up. Like I'm always behind, and it seems like it. You know how it is, man. With adulting, it seems like you're always behind the 8 ball on catching up with games, keeping up with games, finishing. I mean, I always finish my games, but it's just I feel like it takes me forever at times. So it's just, and then there's always something new on the horizon, right around the corner, dropping. Because like even the new Prince of Persia, like I have that locked and loaded, ready to go.
Oh yeah, I heard that was a sleeper hit.
Yeah. Sleeper hit that so much that it only sold 300,000 copies. I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah, man. And Ubisoft is very much a developer where you have to send them a clear message that that's something you want, or you'll never see it again. Well,
I think that goes back. It's funny. The head of Arcane Studios tweeted something out. About gamers complaining about
people to picking up.
Yeah, gamers complain about like what do you say? I'd have to go back and look, but something to the effect like gamers complain about not having a certain type of game. Then that game comes out, and they don't buy it. So I think it's fair.
That's a one-way fair way to kind of look at things. That is sort of a true statement, right? But another part of that equation is it's also. I almost wonder if UB kind of overestimated where it might have been, because I think they're still kind of caught in some of that old way of thinking of like, game length equals value equals like the cost or the price that it should be, right? And they're selling, a 2.5D game, which has higher production value than most that we get, because a lot of them are like the Metroidvanias are like indie, and they have certain budgets, whatever. So they definitely put. From what I played in the demo and what I've been seeing people saying, they definitely put a lot of production value into it, right? But I almost wonder, looking at the price point, I'm like, are they overshooting this? Because it's like, was it $50 for the deluxe edition, $40 for the game itself? I think that's how it went. Jack can correct me on that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $50 for the game.
$50, and then hey, what's up, B? And that's not saying that it's not.
Let me give B a proper
it's
intro
not
here,
saying
real
that
quick.
it's, okay.
Yeah. What? Want to welcome B Money. What's going on, B?
What's going on, fellas?
Chilling, man, chilling. So I'm not saying that it's not worth that price, but you definitely, with people being inundated, like we're just talking about, there's so many games, so much vying for your attention, so much pulling at you.
Right.
That's like that price point alone might get people to kind of shy away from it being a side scroller, because there's all these, there's always connotations. So I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think the price point is a little high for what it is. But I also think what they should have did is a game like this is try to get it on one of the services, whether it's Game Pass or the day and date release on PlayStation Plus, because I think like it is something that we typically don't get from Ubisoft, and it is
you gotta let them
a really
know.
good game,
Right?
Yeah, but it's like it's not Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean? It's not like one of their big tentpole franchises, so most people are just gonna overlook it, and it's gonna be kind of sad because it is a good game, and 300,000 people checking it out is good for what it is. But I think the price point is too high, and I think they could have caught more eyes if they would have put it on one of the services, got people to jump in, and then maybe had some DLC or something to kind of backload it as far as gaining a little bit more money from the title. Yeah,
I think they reserved that for their own service. And again, I think that's a overestimation, because I don't think that's the game either that's going to get somebody to run over to Ubisoft Plus. If you're already there, you're definitely going to check it out. But I don't think anybody's going to run there. But maybe that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to push the price point a little bit higher, thinking that will get people to come check out Ubisoft Plus. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
conspiracy theory. But
good.
But it's a good. I mean, from the demo, it's dope, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it. And the people that have been playing it are saying they're enjoying it. I have seen some people saying that it might be a tad too long. So again, I wonder if they kind of got caught in that trap of being like the traditional developer, thinking that price equals value equals, or not price equals, a little bit of bloat, a little bit of yeah. And I think people nowadays will value, if you give them a concise experience, and it hits around, for a game like this, around 10, 12 hours, but every portion of it is just like tight and on point. And at the right price point, I don't think anybody's going to be thinking that they got, they got slighted or anything. But a game can definitely overstay its welcome. I mean, so maybe that's doing that for some people too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. You guys mentioned the price point. Matt, that's something Matt Piscatella brought up when the game released. He mentioned that the game at $50 for the type of game that it is. He was kind of curious to see how that might play out. He thought it was kind of high for that kind of game. I think either you, E, or B when he mentioned that, but even Matt had mentioned that on Twitter. So. Perhaps maybe that's why it only sold 300,000 copies. Maybe at $50, people were like, not $50 for that kind of game.
Maybe, wasn't Mirage $50 too?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was $50. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like when you look at both of those, and you say like, okay, I can get this game that looks more of like a higher budget. It's from a series that we've, seen come out over the last 10 years, something I'm more familiar with, or I can get this side scroller for $50. Which one are you going to choose?
Good point, man. Yeah. And that's kind of wild. Like, who did that? Who pulled that one off, B? Because you have one that's considered AAA, like a AAA looking game, versus a side scroller.
I find it
at the same price point.
I remember when they first showed the game, and it didn't look that good. I just remember, I think a lot of our reactions were, "Oh, why are you making this?" It just didn't I don't know, the production didn't look right, the animations were weird, and so when this came out and it got good reviews, I was surprised because I had not. It flew off my radar. From the forget when that last promo was. I think it was a Ubisoft event at E3 or something in 2022. So for them to have that reversal, but yet not get the sales, just feels like I don't know. It's like really disappointing.
Yeah. Real quick, gentlemen, I grab some super chats here. Bobor Country with the $2 super chat says Tekken is by far the best fighter release so far. Think of that super chat, Bobor.
Hey, what was that? Did you see that Game Informer tweet about that, Enrique? Not to cut you off. That they were saying that,
no.
Tekken 8 is almost like, I think they were alluding to saying kind of like Tekken 8 is almost quite there, but it doesn't hit the same hallmark as Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat 1. I'm kind of like, don't they kind of have that backwards from what I'm hearing? Like, I'm hearing people say Tekken 8 is delivering like higher than even Street Fighter at some point, and Mortal Kombat 1 is sort of the one that's in the doghouse. So it goes to show perspective, man, like how it rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donnell Brown with the $2 super chat says, "Damn, my Clippers beat Washington tonight." LOL. Look, I mean, that's not really difficult to beat the Wizards these days. They're not that good. Pretty bad.
Wizards still have a team?
Yeah.
My bad. I'm messing with you.
No, the way they play, you wouldn't think they have a team, but
I can't say nothing, man. Look at the Heat are imploding right now.
Well, I mean, at least you guys have had more recent championship wins and runs and playoff appearances than we have, so I'll take that. I'll take that. So,
no doubt.
Yeah. And the great B Rich is like, he's saying in the chat, he said they should have released an 8-hour game for $20-$30 and then a sequel. So yeah, maybe that's
that would have been I think that would have been the sweet spot for him. And like B said, maybe try to get into one of the other services, but again, I think they were trying to, push people into Ubisoft Plus, and that's going to be a hard sell no matter what.
Yeah, I think for like the third party publishers, whether it's EA or Ubisoft or whoever else decides to do like their own service, I just think it's going to be a struggle for them. You know what I mean? Yep. Because like they don't have a platform. And like, people can go on PC and they can access their games that way or whatever. But like a console base is not jumping to your service because you don't release enough games. And you don't have partnerships with other developers to release games in your service. So what I would pay, monthly for your service, I can get way more games, paying for another service, at that same amount or less. So to me, I think those third party, publishers, they have to decide, who they kind of want to align with, or if they're just gonna, get with all the platforms and kind of, be involved in whatever services that they have. I think that's going to be the best route for them. Having their own thing, I don't think it's going to work.
No, I mean, because you got, for like Ubisoft, you almost have to be, if you're like a Ubisoft stan and you love everything that they do, then that makes sense, I guess. But who is that really? Right. I'm sure there's somebody out there like that, but that can't be enough to support a whole service. Like, I just absolutely love Ubisoft, man. I'm here for everything, so I'll definitely sign up.
I mean, there might be some people out there, but yeah, I see your point, Ian. Probably not a lot of people out there. Yeah. I do want to read what Dinga Bakaba, I can never pronounce his last name, the head of it at Arcane, what he said about this game. He said, "Everyone, we want more high-quality, mid-sized games by AAA studios. Also, everyone, no, I didn't buy Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown yet. Why do you ask?" So that was his tweet today. I can't say I totally disagree with him. I mean, we had Colin Moriarty on. He mentioned kind of this thing that gamers need to kind of put their money where their mouth is. We often chastise the gaming industry for not giving us these mid-sized games or high-quality games, and then when they come out, we don't support them. That tends to happen quite a bit. Or on the flip side, we tend to chastise the gaming industry for releasing games that are quote-unquote incomplete, full of bugs. And then we buy them.
In this space, I mean, in the outside world, like, I'd like to know how many of those numbers. I mean, when you think of the outside Twitter world, who did they promote it enough? Did they advertise it enough? Did they get enough eyes on it? Right? In this space, the way to get attention is to give something a platform exclusive. That's the only way to get gamers in this space to pay attention to you. That's all of a sudden when something matters, is when it has like an exclusive tag on it. Because if you notice the games that kind of go multi-platform and so, they don't really catch too much ire. They kind of come, they kind of go, they do whatever. But the ones that people pay attention to the most are the ones that have a platform exclusive and AAA like tag on it. Those are the ones that carry the weight.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah. So, B, I want to go to you real quick. We were talking about some of the games that are coming out next month. Some of the more recent releases, like Prince of Persia. But we do have, Kofi and I were discussing this when we went live. We do have a couple JRPGs that are coming out. Persona 3 Reload, which releases on Friday. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which releases tomorrow. Are you planning on picking up either of those games?
Oh yeah, I'm there day one for Grand Blue. Already got it, ready to be loaded up and ready to go. So I'll be playing that tomorrow for sure. I was gonna get Persona 3 Reloaded day one. I think I'm gonna hold off. I got Tekken 8 to play. Grand Blue's coming out, and then I want to run through one more time before Part 2 comes out. So I might just hold off on getting Persona 3. It does look really good. It's reviewed really well. So it is something that's on my list, but I might just hold off a little bit before I pick it up.
Yeah, it'd be like we were saying, man. Time is a commodity too, man.
Yeah, you only have so much time, and then when you start getting into JRPGs, we all know they're not 10-hour games. You know what I mean? That's not like something you just hop in and get it done in a weekend. So
last year I had a mission to finish. I think it was 16 RPGs in 12 months, and I would have done it. But one thing that popped up was a game that I thought would be good, and then I ended up putting in 400 hours, and it pushed off my other games. And I think that'll happen to me this year again, where I'll say, oh, I'll do, and 16 to me for my time, that was pretty jam packed. Like that was a lot of hardcore moments of time. I just don't know if I can. I feel like I have to balance it out, because focusing on all those JRPGs, a lot of other games don't get played, and I don't want. There's just like, for example, Dead Space Remake. I haven't even really put time into it. I would probably enjoy it, but I had this mission. Oh, finish all these JRPGs. So I got to figure out like, how am I going to balance this out? Because it's getting crazy.
Yeah, Dead Space Remake was fantastic, man.
That remake was well done. I mean, it looked amazing, amazing.
Yeah,
yeah. And the audio in that game is, I mean, as it should be, fantastic. Like
agreed.
What's that, E?
I said agreed.
Yeah, like it got me a little, jumped out of my chair a couple times.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you see they updated Alan Wake, where I guess you can adjust the jump scares now or something like that.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
that's another game from 2023 I haven't played yet.
And it's on sale.
Kotaku had to get their little slander in on people saying, Remedy updated Alan Wake 2 for you babies.
Oh,
or
man.
Something like that, they said.
Do people still read Kotaku?
That's another one that people say is irrelevant, but they can't stop paying attention to.
Yeah, that and IGN, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which, it's kind of interesting. People were, that's a great segue, by the way, E. Suicide Squad also releases this week. And
hey, real quick, SSJ, that's true. Kotaku calling folks babies. For real.
Yeah,
but it's very ironic.
It is ironic, right? That is funny. But yeah, Suicide Squad comes out, another game, another big game. It's really cool, by the way, to see some of the developers, employees at Rocksteady tweet out there's just joy that this game's releasing now. I saw someone say, I've worked on this game for 7 years, excited that it's out. One person I saw tweeted out saying this is their first AAA game launch release. I mean, it's really cool. I think we sometimes forget the people behind the scenes and the amount of hard work that goes into these video games. You know, whether or not you like the game or not, I think that's another conversation. But I think it's important to acknowledge the work that they do. 7 years of development is a long time, and yeah, see,
no, it's more than 7 years. Wasn't it 9?
Has it been 7? More than 7. I don't know. Has it been 9?
That's crazy, man.
I believe
that's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's yeah. Go ahead, Kofi.
No, sorry to interrupt. I just we are in an era also where there's a lot of layoffs, and I think of all the people.
Yeah.
To your point, I think of all the people who travel to a new city to be a part of a project like that. Now, obviously, if you were potentially living there for, let's say, like a portion of those 7 years, that's pretty stable. But I just couldn't imagine like me moving, my small family to another city, hoping that this game is like, it. There's just a lot of risk in that, and I think we just got to tip our hats to them grinding through it, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
so what's the word on this game? You guys playing it? Because I'm seeing like mixed, bags. Like it seemed like when the beta, was out there, people were kind of hinting at it wasn't that great. But I'm seeing people that they're rocking with it. They're saying that they're enjoying it.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, I saw some positive reviews.
Yeah, I saw a couple people tweet that out that they were enjoying it.
Yeah.
The only review that I saw, well, I know Xbox here did a review. I think they gave it a 8 out of 10. I didn't read the review, but I know VGC gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and they said they're enjoyable alone or with friends, visually impressive. That's the one thing I've heard from people that are playing it. Visually looks very impressive. Visually impressive with one of the best.
The story's good too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. One of the best DC game stories since Arkham. I mean, hey, look, I always say Arkham is one of the best superhero games. That Arkham series.
Well, which one? We're talking Asylum and City? Because Night.
Yes.
In Origin, I don't think it's enough props for the story.
I enjoyed all the Arkham games. Speaking of Batman, the Telltale Batman game was actually pretty good too. I enjoyed it at least. I thought it was pretty good.
I got to like the first 1 or 2, and then I kind of got burned out on the whole Telltale thing.
Yeah, but
I was like, all right.
But yeah, I know. But I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of I don't want to say controversy, but just I just see some back and forth about this game. Some people saying this game looks terrible, and the whole IGN thing. The IGN not getting a review code, and people are saying, yeah, rightfully so. IGN shouldn't get a review code, and because of they levied some criticism about the beta. And it sounds like WB's not giving them a review code because of that. And people are like, yeah, they got their just due. I'm like, what do you guys think about that? Like, what do you guys think about like publishers saying, hey, you know what? If you give us a bad preview, we're not going to give you a review code. What do you guys think about that?
I think the developers that feel strongly about their game, they know they're on to something. They know they have something. They don't care. Like, you can give us a bad preview, but we know this final product is about to blow your socks off. So yeah, you're gonna get a code because you're still one of the biggest outlets.
I almost feel like the developer did. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it kind of works in reverse, especially today. Like the way that all the negativity just breeds on the internet, especially on Twitter. It's like, if you do give us a bad preview, guess what? Everybody's going to run with that the game is bad. Everybody is already mad because they're making the games as a service as it is. So everybody's like, oh, they made one of the best games, best superhero games ever. There's this renowned studio. Everybody was expecting something totally different. So when they came out with a game that was a game as a service, it already has like a negative, slight to it anyway. So then when someone previews it and it's not a game that you expect and you give it, some negative feedback, and everybody runs with it, everybody's already looking at the game with a side eye. So it's like, I don't think this game gonna be that good. But before people even put their hands on it, they're like, nope, I'm not touching it. The game's not good. IGN said the game isn't good. So no point in even picking it up. So I think it kind of works in reverse, where if you don't see some of the good things about the game, and both mostly your headline of your preview is talking about how negative you felt about the game, then maybe I'm not going to give you a code to give more coverage on the game, because at the end of the day, this is a company. We're trying to ensure that people can keep the lights on, people can feed their family. If this game doesn't work out for us, guess what? We got to lay off half our staff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to look at it from another side.
That's true, because I'm thinking if they were to just delay IGN's review, let's say they give them the code sometime after, that might mean that the Metacritic score coming out the gate is favorably higher. And then people, they check Metacritic. I think the average person who's interested in a game and checks Metacritic might check it once, right? They're not going to check to see if it drops or anything. They go, oh, okay, 17 reviews,
Right.
80. I'm going to the store. So then maybe they're playing that game.
Look, I hear what you're saying, B. But I also look at it like that. That is the risk, the inherent risk of making video games. And what concerns me a little bit is the idea that we're going to hold you. We're not going to allow you to have a review code unless you have good things to say about our game. And
I don't think you have to have good things, but you got to be fair. If your title is basically just saying like the game is shit, then nah, I'm not messing with you.
Look, I get the B. I understand, but at the same token, it's like it's like I'm just concerned that this is gonna. And I don't think this is probably not the only instance. I'd have to go back and look. I don't think this is the when full Kojima lost it. What's up, Slow-Mo?
Yo, what up?
When full Kojima lost it. We're gonna talk about that, by the way, because I was like, oh, Slow-Mo. I already know what Slow-Mo's gonna say about this.
Yeah, well, as I was watching that trailer, I was like, I know Slow-Mo was he's seething right now.
Slow-Mo, I saw your post on Twitter too, rolling your eyes. I was like, "Oh man, Slow-Mo, come on, man!"
Did you have one of those? Did you have an evil Slow-Mo laugh when you saw that?
No, I was very upset. I'm just like, how long is this damn trailer going to be? I'm just like, is this going to be one of his cutscenes in the game? Or is it going to be like an entire second state of play show of this cutscene that don't make any sense? We got a freaking guy out here playing Guitar Hero and fighting. What was that rock game in the arcade where you use the guitars to like shoot people? It was like they were like guns.
I don't remember that. No.
It was like one of those shooter games in the arcade where you would have a gun, but instead of a gun, it was like a Aerosmith game, and they had guitars, and they were like shooting like lightning from guitars or some crap. It was a trash game, just like Death Stranding.
Hey, we're not gonna slander. We're not gonna slander.
Okay, look,
the brilliant mind that is Hideo Kojima.
I haven't played it yet, so I can't.
Brutal Legend.
No, is it? No, I don't think it's. No. This is an arcade game.
Okay, yeah.
This was an arcade game in like the 90s. Thank you, Revolution. That was it. That's what I thought about when I saw that part. I was like, this is like he's just riffing off of everything. God of War. God, hey, look. Let me not get into it.
He got that from Silverhawks, the guitar.
Oh yeah, remember Silverhawks? Yeah, the
Silverhawks.
Silverhawks. Talk about that show back in the day.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a deep cut, man. I don't think anybody knows what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The Cowboy Pilot had the guitar that shot like the laser notes out of it.
Oh yeah, the Cowboy Pilot.
Crazy, yo.
He's one of my favorite characters.
Silverhawks.
Silverhawks was fire. I don't care.
Silverhawks was fire.
Yeah,
it was, man.
Not Kojima though.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that. Later. We'll talk about that later on. But yeah, that's my concern. B. I don't want these things to be predicated on whether or not a media outlet gives them whether it's a title or not. Like,
Rap. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You do this podcast every week, right?
Yes.
On Wednesdays.
Yeah.
If you had a guest on here and all the outlets picked it up and they started talking negative about you, how would you feel about that?
Well, that's a tough question because we're not big enough for that to happen.
No,
I honestly, I can't even.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I can't even. Honestly, I don't. Yeah, I mean, but I think this is a little bit different. I think my concern is because I think there's value in these previews and reviews that now you're basically saying as a publisher, hey, we're not gonna allow people to have review codes unless they give us good reviews or give us favorable previews. And if someone doesn't have a favorable preview, like I don't want them to be disingenuous or lie about their preview because hey, don't say that about a WB game because you know what happened last time. We got to give them a favorable preview. Like that's what's concerning to me.
That's not what happened.
Well, they did get.
Did you read the article that they put out?
They didn't get a review code though, right?
But did you read the article that they put out on the preview?
I didn't read the whole article. No, I didn't read the whole thing.
There you
go.
Destin McGarry did it, right?
Yeah, it was Destin.
Did he do the preview?
I think it was Destin. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, Destin did the preview.
Yeah.
And first of all, the title, coming out the gate, it already makes it seem like he's negative on the game. But then when you start reading it, like he didn't highlight anything that was positive about the game. So if you're not going to be fair, then why would I continue to?
Maybe he didn't like the game.
And that's fine. That's his opinion.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's so there's a subjective element to this too. Like he doesn't like the game,
but he also works for a large corporation. So his single opinion is supposed to reflect the entire corporation. That's what happens in journalism.
Are we talking about Suicide Squad? Sorry, I was busy trolling people on Twitter about Kojima. So
leave the Kojima fans alone. Come on, man.
It's so easy to rile up, man.
Let them have their day in the sun, man.
They've had too many days in the sun. That's why their brains are fried. No, look, so I played it like in the demo phase, in which it's I think it was actually a little different than what the previews were when they went out. I didn't really care for the gameplay. I thought the combat was kind of boring, and I didn't like the way they set up a lot of the like stage pieces for conversations with Mahler. Waller. I call it Mahler. Amanda Waller. There was a particular like fight between two heroes where the Suicide Squad is just kind of watching it, and it's like this isn't engaging. It's just like I felt like there was stuff going on that like I'm like Rocksteady are making these kind of mistakes. It's just like it was just weird. I did like the story and the characters. I thought they nailed the Suicide Squad's characters and their dynamic and their humor, although inappropriate but funny. And the story, like I said, the story is good. And there was like one particular part where Batman is stalking the Suicide Squad in this museum and taking them out one by one, and it's just so well done. But then, like, right after that, it's just fight these random enemies that are brain dead. Use the traversal, which is pretty good. Get to this rooftop. There's a big glowy circle. Gotta get everybody here. So I'm like, if one person was in their menu, we all got away from them. Dude shows up, and all it does is just starts another conversation. It's not even a fight, and it's just like, this isn't how, like, I've seen this kind of game design done before, but better. And I know that's just like a slice of the game, but that's just kind of like what was my feeling walking away from it. So when I saw it, to get to the point here, IGN's preview, it resonated with me, someone who had played it. Now I do understand their side of it, where they was just like, well, all these previews, not just IGN's, is killing us. And now since everyone's killing us, let's go let the community speak on how they felt. And I think that was kind of mixed, because I saw a lot of people also echoing what I said, and then I saw some people who were like, I was digging it, I like it. And so it's the thing is that I think what I always find strange is that people act like IGN is the end all be all of games media, and then they'll be like IGN is irrelevant, but then every time IGN says something they don't like, they're retweeting it, they're quote retweeting it, they're talking about it, they're tagging people who work at IGN, they're cussing them out, and I'm just like, thought they were irrelevant. Why are you still talking about them? It's like, and they do the clickbait just like the rest of games media, and you know why they do it? Because you keep falling for it. Because the clickbait is designed to get you to engage and get them clicks, so they can then go to advertisers and say, "Look at all the engagement we got. It doesn't matter how we got the engagement. Give us money." And you just fall for it. You are the product. Your inability to control your emotions, like this dude Jay in the chat said, sounds like you weren't very good at the game. LOL. A very poor troll. The game was barely played enough time to play it. The controls are super awkward, and Jay, your troll sucks, bro. Sorry, but I'm not gonna get emotional about some dude in the chat's throwaway comment. That sucks. I'm just going to keep moving. It's like, I don't understand why people can't you see someone say something that's stupid to you and just keep it moving. But no, they have to tell the entire world, their entire timeline, how they feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that you're giving them what they want.
Yeah.
Like I said my piece on the game on Twitter, and I stopped thinking about it. I probably will eventually pick it up like on a deep sale like later on, because I do want to go through the story, because I thought that was really good, and I wanted to continue the story, but I again was bored with the combat. It was just, and maybe it was the character I was playing with for the most part, because I was using Deadshot. I was using Deadshot for the most part. I did like Captain Boomerang when I was playing for him a little bit.
Deadshot, by the way, but go ahead.
Well, because I'm black, BRAP. Is that
no?
Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
the black guy has to choose the other black guy
because you like shooting guns. You like shooting weapons. But go ahead.
No, I'm kidding. No, I did want to use Captain Boomerang, but I didn't really.
People are upset at Captain Boomerang too, by the way.
Oh yeah, they're upset for other reasons about Captain Boomerang.
Because he urinated on. I'm just like, what?
I think that's funny. I thought that was hilarious.
I didn't have an issue with it, but people are like, oh my god, it's so...
like I play Borderlands, so like inappropriate stuff that's humorous. Claptrap,
do they understand like the Suicide Squad
blowing up someone's head and laughing about it? Like I like that kind of stuff. So for me, like I saw that cutscene on Twitter. I didn't really appreciate seeing the cutscenes and like people spoiling parts of the game that's in early access. Right. Like, so that got spoiled, but I laughed. I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I used Deadshot for the most part. Maybe I can't use that character. But I did. I used them. When you do the tutorial, you gotta use all of them. And Boomerang was the one that I kind of liked the most. But my friend was like, "I want to play Captain Boomerang." I'm like, "Fine, right? Just let him have it."
So I don't mean to interrupt you real quick. I want to get the super chat because Jeff B. Games asked me if I read the super chat. Jeff B. gave me the $5 super chat. Says, out of gaming topic, Elmo asked Twitter how they was and got interesting answers. Thank you for that super chat, Jeff B. Gaming. Go ahead, Slow-Mo.
Oh no, I was just saying that like I didn't get a lot of time with all the characters, just mostly Deadshot, and then you do a tutorial phase of the game where they're like all separated and then they come together, and so it kind of allows you to get a feel for what each of the four can do and how they play. But yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be when I first saw it. And I mean, that's fine. Like, it doesn't have to. No game is going to resonate with everyone. So I'm not like tripping that it's not like I wasn't feeling the combat like that. I'll just get it later on. But it's just like again, my like my thoughts on how this whole narrative has turned is just like it wasn't just I'm not trying to defend IGN or anything.
Yeah,
it's just like
sites.
it wasn't. It wasn't. There were other sites that was also killing it, and it's just like everyone's just like, no, it's just IGN, and it's just like, no, this is a lot of sites that were killing it. And then the whole issues with early access, which I think is the bigger issue. Here you are, you ask people to pay for early access. They spent extra money for early access, and they barely get to play it in early access because of your own mistakes. Like, yeah, they kind of made it good by giving them like $20 in cosmetics and stuff, but what if like I ain't want none of that stuff? I wanted to play the game. Which I wasn't able to do. It's just I think that's you can't.
I thought they gave him a $20 refund. It was for cosmetics and stuff.
Yeah, no, they gave him a refund. They gave him like $20 in like I gotta find it, but it was like game credit kind of thing. So like it's like, oh, you could you go to a store and their product sucks. And you go to return it, and they're just like, yeah, we'll give you like $50 in store credit instead of your money back. And it's just like, no, I don't want to shop here again. Give me my money back, bro. Like, you're just going to end up getting $50 back from me from some other trash that you selling. Yeah. Which I'm not saying that Suicide Squad, it's all trash, but I'm just saying like I thought that was kind of not good enough. Compensation, because like the loss here is not a product but time, and people pay for early access and didn't really get to enjoy that. So
right.
Yeah, well, the review should be rolling in over the next couple of days. Like I said, I've only seen 2 Xbox era, and then Video Game Chronicles.
Were they good?
The other one. I didn't read the Xbox era one, but the Video Game Chronicles one was mostly positive.
Good.
Yeah, they gave it 4 stars out of 5.
Oh, that's nice. That's actually really good.
Yeah, Xbox era I think gave it like an 8 out of 10. But I've heard some people like mention some of the things that you've talked about on Twitter today, where they were saying, yeah, there's some repetitive gameplay. The enemies are dumb, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, it's really, really bad AI, and all the kind of generic open world live service multiplayer game kind of side quest stuff that you always get. Go to this location, defend it from waves of enemies, kind of thing. Go to this one location, blow up this device. It's you can have fun with it. I could say like playing with friends, laughing at some of the dialogue because it is humorous, and just like talking about whatever while not actually like focusing because you don't really need to because it's not like hard. But as we always say, every game can be fun with friends. So if it's really about, for me, I always kind of look at things like, I can have fun with friends with it, but will I play it by myself? And the games that I have noticed that I have fun with friends, but I won't play by myself, I don't really consider them like good games. So that could be just me.
No, that's kind of how the saying goes. Like if you need friends to make it fun, then you're just really having fun with your friends. It's not that the game is fun. You just,
exactly.
You're finding an angle to make it fun.
Right. Like when I played the finals with my friends, we're having fun because it's challenging. We have to do teamwork. And when we win and we dominate, it's like it's like we're like really like into it, celebrating. That's fun with friends, but it's also really about the game. That is, the source of that fun. And not just that, hey, I enjoy the company of my friends and we're just shooting the shit and having a good time. Because we'll do that whether we're playing the game or whether we're just on Discord talking. It's the same, it's all the same, right? But it's like if the game actually is delivering on that, that's even better. And so,
Right.
When me and my friends played it, we were just like, I mean, we laughed at like the cutscene. There's a cutscene. I think I can say this because they showed it parts of this in some of the previews last year. But like, there's a part where they recruit the penguin, and then like the penguin tries to run away, and Amanda Waller like tases him from like remotely, and he passes out and he gets like face plants on the pavement, that's funny in itself. But then they're all like, Waller, he's up again, he's running. Tases him again, but it's just body just jumping on the ground, and they're just like, oh, he's still going, wow. And he's just like she keeps tasing him, and then finally, what's his name, King Shark, Miawe, whatever his name is, goes, blow his head up. And that's when she's like, okay, you guys are fucking with me. And they're just looking at him like, man, why you do that? We was having fun. So it was like, there's scenes like that just kind of like,
yeah,
it makes you want to play more, to see more stuff like that. But it's not the gameplay that makes you want to play more. It's the funny stuff that they did, right? It's just kind of uneven, I guess.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that insight, Slow-Mo. I wasn't part of the beta. Knowing this game's not something that I'm interested in playing. Just not. Yeah, I just don't. There's just so many other games that are on my radar that I want to get to. But is this Slow-Mo? I mean, like, I know you play a lot of like games as a service type games. I mean, is this something that you think you might go back to?
Yeah, Deep Cell. I'll pick it up. Like, and Deep Cell, or when some of my friends want to play it, then we'll get together and play it. I mean, I play whatever with them. I play Grounded with them. Y'all know I don't like survival games. I'm playing Grounded. What else did I play that I was just like, why am I here?
Palworld?
No, I'm not playing. I refuse. But
it's like that with bug stacks for you, right?
yeah. I'm not playing.
Remember they got Slow-Mo to stream bug snacks.
Yeah. I lost the bet to Forte. Shout out to Forte.
So this is almost like, in a way, like Gotham Knights, like, because remember we were talking about this and we said, like, again, gameplay being what it is, the story is actually pretty solid. Yeah, it's kind of weird how they keep pulling that that rabbit out of the hat. It's like,
because
stay away from the live service and just
I was digging Gotham Knights story. The problem I had, and when Gotham Knights launched horribly, it was like its performance was terrible. It didn't have a performance mode on consoles, and then so it was supposed to be targeting 30 frames per second, but really kind of averaged between 20 and 25 the whole game. On consoles, which is awful. On PC, it was barely playable. A 4090 couldn't average 60 FPS. It's just like, how do you launch a game like this in the state? It's not ready. But then once, like, I think that game came out in like October or something, and then by February of last year, I heard they had fixed it. Got it on PC. It was on sale for like $20-$30 at that point. Got it on PC. Had a ball with it. Me and one of my friends primarily because it went from being 4-player co-op to 2-player co-op, which is also a problem because they initially marketed it as 4-player co-op and then ended up only being able to do 2. But me and one of my friends went through it. It was cool. The story's actually pretty good, and I really ended up, well, except for Red Hood. I don't know what they were thinking with Red Hood, but the other 3 are dope. Like, the other 3 were great. Red Hood is that. Why is he like big for no reason? Like they made Red Hood like humongous. Like he's like the size of Bane, almost the size of Bane.
What?
And then he's shooting like pellet guns at people, and I'm just like, why are you this big and you're shooting pistols? What? Like, you should be like clotheslining, decapitating people, kind of stuff. And his traversal doesn't make any sense. He's like skipping on air, with little like energy puddles and stuff. Like, what is this crap?
Yeah.
I was like,
It's weird, yeah.
why is he here? Like, put someone else in here or something. It was weird. Like, it just Red Hood. Well, as Kyle says, Red Hood using non-lethal rounds. What? Like, it just didn't make sense. But everyone else, Nightwing, awesome. I love Batgirl. I actually ended up like, I started out thinking like I was going to play Nightwing for the most part, and then by the end of the game, I was like all Batgirl because she's really cool. I didn't really care.
I think she was
yeah, I didn't really care for Robin that much, but my boy was playing him, so I was like, I didn't really care. But yeah, the Red Hood thing just kind of just like threw me for a loop. I just ignored them because it was just like this doesn't make any sense. But it was like story wise really good. Like I like the what do they call it? The owls? What was it?
the Court of Owls.
The Court of Owls. There we go. Yeah.
Mm.
That was good. That was well done. I even like the side quests that were like had different stages to them. Those were really good. The story for those was good. It was like this is why I kind of feel like with except for Hogwarts Legacy with WB Games now, it just seems like their releases have been uneven. They've had good aspects, but then they've had other aspects that's like like what were you guys thinking here? And then with Gotham Knights, that was clearly supposed to be a live service game as well. And then they ripped a lot of that stuff out, but then when the game foundationally is designed that way, it still kind of leaves it looking like feeling not quite right. Like you would get all these like materials and things, and it's just like it's like all this stuff is unnecessary. It was weird. It was weird, but hopefully Suicide Squad performs better. Like I hope more people like it, and I think the fact that it's running at 60 FPS at launch is already a W in itself. So
Yeah.
All right,
I'm done.
No, I appreciate the insights, Limo. By the way, speaking of Palworld, is anyone playing Palworld on the panel?
No.
Wow, I was like, you going like speaking of Power? I'm like, no,
Not at all.
Wow, no one's playing.
Nah.
Oh, all right.
No desire.
Kofi, you're not playing Palworld? I could probably guess that. No.
At first it definitely interested me. I didn't expect to see all the salt on my timeline about it, but I just never got to it.
Gotcha. Okay. So Xbox, through the Xbox Wire, they released some numbers with Palworld on the Xbox platform. Palworld has been played by more than 7 million players on Xbox. It's the biggest third-party launch in Game Pass history. Palworld, has look at the concurrent players here. I lost that information. Now I can't find it.
Didn't it hit almost? Well, I know it's past 1 million, right? Concurrent.
Let's see here. I thought there was. Oh, here we go. Across console, Windows, PC, Palworld has welcomed more than 7 million players and has recently reached a peak of nearly 3 million daily active users on Xbox, making it the most played game on our platforms at that time. So, yeah, Palworld is Palworld. Not only like we talked about the Steam numbers that it's done on PC. This game's just doing very well, to say the least. So it's a lot of people that have played that game.
Yeah, and it's just growing. I think they're already successful considering what they probably had anticipated what the game would sell compared to where it's going. Like no one could have predicted this. It's like the second highest concurrent players on in Steam history, and it's so like crazy. And even though I don't care for it because it's like it's got a lot of stuff that I don't really care for. I don't care for survival games. I don't care for Pokemon, and it's really super janky. But it does do some things that really touch on what things that people love, especially the PC community, because the PC community loves their survival games. We see stuff like Valheim, which had 5 pixels on screen total, and that game sold like crazy.
Right.
V Rising, which was shown at the State of Play, also had a nice little pop in the beginning when it first launched on PC. That has survival elements. There's another one called Enshrouded. I don't know if you guys heard about it. That launched on PC like last week, I think. And that one's got like it's like a mix of survival game and Souls-like, and that's doing great on PC. It's just PC gamers love their survival games, and I think that kind of has that plus them clearly taking let's say inspiration from Pokemon. Let's say call it inspiration, right? And the attention that has brought them with all the Nintendo fans, like Nintendo, do something about this, like and maybe Nintendo will or won't. Who knows, right? We say Kofi?
There's so much salt on my timeline. It's just I'll just be minding my own business. Oh gosh, like I can't believe this. It's too much. Like I just want to stay out of that whole scenario. I mean, eventually I'm going to try the game because I thought it was somewhat interesting, but I just didn't expect that type of reaction. I thought, okay, this is, I guess, my kind of take on some of the differences between Palworld. As you said, the survival aspect is such a significant part that you don't acknowledge. I mean, it's not even a mechanic in Pokemon, and the fact that there's no real like cities to visit in Palworld kind of makes it different to me from Pokemon. So to me, I feel like they can exist and be mutually exclusive of each other. I don't really expect one to survive and one to die, like, oh, Palworld kill Pokemon. I think both can be correct in their own ways, but I think that's what happens when maybe a space is kind of narrow and now there's a little bit of competition. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about a moment ago. Like if something doesn't like really interest you, or is kind of irrelevant to you, like how much time are you actually going to spend being angry about it? So I have no interest in Palworld, so I've really had nothing to say about it because it's not a game that I'm like interested in. So I have no cause to kind of just be like angry about it and wanting to what good does it do for me?
Imagine that.
Right.
Imagine that. You don't like it, you don't care for it, so you don't talk about it. Who are you, Eric?
Obviously, yeah. I'm not built for X, whatever you want to call it. But it's just, but we know exactly why people have like this vibe and this feeling about it, and conversely, it's like people who are doing too much, doing the most over this game, and haven't even like turned it on.
Mm-hmm.
But they're reporting all the numbers. They have no interest in it either. Except for it being the platform.
Rights,
it's like so people are going way overboard, with the hate for it, and going way overboard with propping it up, and it's just like shout out to the people who are just literally straight up enjoying it. That's fine. Like I said, I have no interest in it, but but how it goes, man. It's like I kind of think of the whole console war thing. Especially at this point, we know people who have been in it since 2012, 2013, and still doing it and still doing the same thing.
Some of them are stuck in 2012, 2013.
And no, I'm saying, just kind of liken it to
that laugh.
Like, for lack of a better way of putting it, it's sort of like, somebody who has like syphilis, and the longer you carry it and you don't get it treated and you don't cure yourself of it, it starts to burn and rot your brain. Console wars do the same thing,
You just compared console war to syphilis.
I love it.
I understand the analogy. That's a great analogy.
But you know what I thought about as you guys were discussing Power? Remember how people used to talk about the Persona series? And remember how, like, when it was exclusive to PlayStation, people were
they hated
who had
it.
never played the game were saying stuff like, "Oh, if you like that game, you're I don't even want to say the word. Like,
you're talking about Persona 5 not getting ported, right?
Yes,
Specifically Persona 5. Yeah, okay.
Because there were people who were like, oh, if you play this game and like this game, you must also like the frequent like playgrounds, that kind of talk.
Yeah, I remember that.
There were people that were like, "This is boring." I'm not even going to say the slur because it's disgusting. But this boring, insert slur, trash, and it's like some of these same people once Sega's relationship improved with Xbox, flipped it to when now the game's coming out. We got Persona 3 Reload, which I can't wait to play, going to launch in Game Pass. Now all of a sudden they're so excited. Like they got no problem with their comrades in arms playing this game that you said, oh, you must be R. Kelly out here in the gaming community if you play that. But now all their buddies are playing it. Oh, they're playing through Royal. Oh, they're playing for Golden.
I'm having a blast. I can't believe I slept on these.
Right, and it's just like I can believe it. I can believe you slept on them.
It's the same cats. It's the same cats that say, "I don't know why I bought this PlayStation. It's over here collecting dust," or vice versa. You gotta do that. Which that logic never made sense to me because like that's not your main platform. So why would you say you bought it for the exclusives? How often does a big exclusive come through? Right? Mm. These games that you said that you really want to try, you really want to play, you said you bought a PlayStation to have these experiences. Well, they're over there. So you have the ability to play them. You just want them over here.
It's like I bought a PlayStation for exclusives. Here are said exclusives. I don't want to play it there. So why
not those kind of exclusives?
Not first party exclusives.
Yeah.
And this, I understand some of it, like, oh, like if you are used to an ecosystem, I even get the people like, and I understand, like, if you are used to playing games and you're used to sitting in a party chat on Xbox with your friends, and that's real. Like, I think that whole process is done better than what PlayStation does with their party system. And like, if it's just different, so different that you don't really like want to do that, or you don't have anyone that you can talk to, and it's just difficult to be able to want to play those games over there while also doing what you normally do, which is talk to your friends. Like, I get it, right?
Want achievements? I get that.
Yeah, you want the achievements. You don't really care for trophies or vice versa, right. But none of that stuff rises to the I need to now hate on this game and then like really minimize all of its good qualities and then go ham on all its bad qualities. I see this on both sides of the aisle. I saw it with Forspoken, not the worst game in the world, but people treated it like it was. Like if you play the game, most people.
I just went through it recently, and I'm like, I don't get it. I get it. I can understand parts of the way it's like, this is I don't know, because I had parts where I was like, okay, but as a gameplay, the things that's going on, like the mechanics of it, I'm like, this is a pretty solid game. And for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, and then on the flip side of it, I've seen people who previously enjoyed Obsidian's work and enjoyed the kind of games that they make, looked at Avowed and was like, "Oh, this looks mid. This looks terrible. Why does this game have to be in first person perspective?" And I'm just like, "But you like the Outer Worlds,
right?"
And it's just like
it doesn't add up.
It never, but you know what always adds up? Which side has the game and where their thoughts align. That's what always adds up. And so you can tell for not everyone. We can just tell with certain people, you just already know before they even open their mouth or before they even, you even read the rest of their trash tweet, what they are going to say about a particular game. And then the games they seem to just completely ignore, that they just don't care about. It's
I can remember. So I can remember. We'll wrap up this tangent, BRAP. I promise. If you want to call it a tangent, it's just funny observations to me. But BRAP, you probably remember this. There was a point where before Xbox was getting some of these the good RPGs kind of going over there, and it's a lot better than where it was. Because before they weren't getting anything.
Yeah,
and like to Slow-Mo's point, I can remember some of that slander. Like, well, it's not over here, so I got to figure out a way to make it seem bad. I remember somebody legit saying, "JRPGs give me headaches. They disorient me and give me migraines." Right, and this same person, when Persona was announced to be going over, and some other, oh my god, I was like, oh, I guess you found the doctor that cured your your vertigo and your migraines and everything, and it's on now. I guess they gave you a green pill or something if you swallow it. I don't know, but conversely, there's other games that will, when a third party game goes exclusive, I notice if it goes to the other platform, it's trash. If it comes to this platform, it's great, and people do the most there too. Like they have to push that agenda. Like, but if the same type of game, literally the same type, same genre, same everything, goes over to this other side for exclusive, it's garbage.
Yeah,
but you're playing the same exact thing over here, or you were. So why is it garbage now? I don't understand that either.
Yeah, it's both sides of the aisle. They gaslight each other, and it's just back and forth, and
right.
It's all
like
nonsense.
Pentiment. I think Pentiment, a game like Pentiment, got got slandered, right? And Pentiment is a great game, but it also got propped up by a bunch of people that didn't play it.
Oh yes,
I picked it up on sale. Still haven't played it.
Fantastic.
Kofi
on Steam. Yeah.
Kofi, play Pentiment.
I heard it's really good.
It's like that, huh?
Yeah.
The story. You'll start it and you'll be like, okay, kind of like a little murder mystery. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna spoil anything. But then like as you get deeper and then like they have these time jumps, right? And then you start to see it really unfold. By the time you get to the end, like you're going to be so engrossed in the story and how it plays out. It's just it's good. It's really, really good.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's layered, and your experience won't be the same as what me and Slow-Mo went through.
Yeah.
Because it's multi-layered. It's got different paths, different branches that can take. Like, you could have a wildly different choices than what we did. Different choices, everything.
Yeah, you can choose to. Like, there's certain parts where you can choose. Like, you can find out the truth of who killed who, and then you can like decide to make sure that person pays the consequences of what they did, or if you felt they were justified in what they did, you could protect them, and it's like it really kind of, whatever your choice is, you see it reflected like very well in the very next chapter or act where there's been a time jump, and then now you see how the same town, because it all takes place in one small little it's Germany, right, Eric?
Bavaria. Like
Bulgaria,
pre-Renaissance, like or in the turn into the Renaissance. So again, also like the setting is like very unique and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a slept-on game. It's not. It's kind in game design wise. It's kind of like Disco Elysium, but not as detailed. Disco Elysium, I think the writing is. I mean, no shade to Josh Sawyer. Like the writing in Pentiment is awesome, but like Disco Elysium's writing is like a cut above.
Yeah, and the narration of those emotions that the people were going through. Because I played at least the first half of Elysium. That game is crazy.
I got the secret ending of Disco Elysium, and I just absolutely like. It's one of those games you beat a game and then you just kind of sit there for a moment, like. I just kind of I gotta process this. It's just like so many times I thought I got it figured out. I know what happened here, and then the way they weave their narrative to kind of lead you to a certain conclusion, and then it's like, bam, nah, that's not it. And then you find out more, and it's like peeling layers away until you get to the truth of the matter, and then. Yeah, it's really good. Like it's and the cool thing about Disco Elysium is it's got so many different endings. Some people don't even make it that far, where they get an ending and they're just like that's it. But it's like they didn't make. I'm not saying they didn't make the right decisions, but if you really pay attention to what's going on, and you're really paying attention to the story, you would kind of like not fall for like some of the dead ends that you may run into. But yeah. I'm sorry. We keep going on tangents.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I mean, I've heard great things about Pentiment, the story. Not from you, from other people who played it. I haven't played it yet. But I do want to move on to the state of play. We finally, I know a lot of people are asking for a state of play. But you had mentioned there was going to be something, I think the tail end of December maybe, or early this year for state of play. Am I getting that accurate?
It's supposed to be before December last year.
Okay.
But, guess things got moved around. You started moving. Announce your CEO is retiring.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You don't got a replacement run, and a lot of moving parts. So I'm just glad to see him do something before it got too late.
Yeah. Well, they showed off a lot of games, which was fantastic. I thought this was a really good showing compared to previous state of plays. A couple games here that I'm excited about, that I'm definitely going to be picking up. But B, what game stood out for you? What are you excited about from the state of play?
Judas. That's probably the biggest game I'm excited about. I mean, Ken Levine coming out of the cave and giving us some of his great work.
Yeah,
that's probably the most exciting game that they showed. It was great to see it there. I think they announced it, officially revealed it last year. So to see a little bit more about it and, just confirmation that we should be getting it within the next year or so is pretty good. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. It was great to see Judas. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to get a date on Stellar Blade. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. It's definitely a game I'm gonna check out.
Yeah, thought it looked good. Yeah,
trying to think of what else. Those are probably like my two main ones. We know Helldivers is right around the corner. Foam Stars is releasing soon.
Yep.
Rise of the Ronin is in March. So
yep.
Nothing too crazy. It was cool to see Kojima there announce a new IP. He's tired of Konami, capitalizing off his work. So, he gotta, bring back the espionage games and give it his own flavor. So excited for that, to see what that is. Hopefully, we'll get some more information about that pretty soon. But that's really about it, man. It was a solid show. The good thing about this show is that all the stuff that we know about will be out within the next, 3 or 4 months. You know what I mean? So like all the stuff they announced, all the stuff they've promoted pretty heavy, will be out, except for Silent Hill. I don't think Silent Hill has a date on it yet. But everything else has a release date or will have released, within this first quarter. So their next major showing, should have some newer content in it, some stuff that we haven't seen yet, and hopefully we see Concord sooner rather than later. That's probably the one game that they've announced and talked about releasing this year, and we have not seen one drop of anything besides that teaser trailer. So hopefully that'll be like in the next show, and that'll kind of lead it off, because that game is announced for this year.
Yeah. What about what about you, E? What did you? Sorry, I can't even talk. I'm trying to talk and read the live chat at the same time. What game stood out for you? What are you excited about from the showing today?
I share pretty much like a lot of the same sentiment of B. Judas looked great. Can't wait to see. I don't even know if I won't say see more, but I want to see more of the combat at this point. We got like the CGI trailer. I think that's the second one that we've gotten that was sort of like that. And then we got some glimpses of what some of the combat is. I want to see a little bit more in depth, and then I think I'll be good on that until it actually releases. So yeah, good to finally get a date to see more of Stellar Blade. We need more hack and slash back in the gaming sphere, man. Because I mean, you know me, I love a good Souls game, a good Souls like or whatever, but that's where everybody has to kind of like do that. You know, it's sort of like everything's roguelite, you know, battle royale or, you know, Souls like. So to get something that's more hack and slash is great. And so with that, it was good to see a little bit more Rise of the Ronin. And I want to definitely see more on that one, know more about that one. And I'm hoping that one is closer in the vein of, but somewhere between Ninja Gaiden and Ghost of Tsushima, and not so much Neo and Dark Souls. You know, so and it's kind of looking to be the former. So hopefully that's where we'll go with that. And then what was that, Slumber? What was that? And what was the one game that had like the? It almost looked like a Diablo type game.
Oh, V Rising.
V Rising.
Yeah, that looked pretty dope too.
Yeah,
that game was pretty big on PC when it first launched. It's it's like a vampire. I wouldn't say Souls-ish, but it's like it's a survival game that's based around vampires and it's kind of mixed with something else. But
is that top-down game?
Yeah,
it's
isometric view. Yeah.
As soon as I saw the base building, I was like, not doing that.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
they did kind of all right, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of crafting. My understanding, a lot of crafting in that game. In V Rising, excuse me.
So yeah, like Slomo said, it is big on PC. I mean, like you said, PC dudes, I think they like the survival, chopping down tree things and stuff, right?
Yeah. I didn't hear what you said, Enrique. Say it again.
My understanding is a lot of crafting in that game in V Rising.
Yeah, because it's survival based. So all the stuff that you see in survival games where you gotta like build up your base or your location and that kind of stuff and craft things and it does all that. Like I played it when it was in early access and initially I kind of saw like little like clips of it that was like, okay, this looks cool. And then once I played it, I was like, oh, survival. Never mind. I'm not really into this. For me, I thought Dragon's Dogma 2 showed really well.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
That and Stellar Blade, I actually was impressed with Stellar Blade on the combat. I know I saw some people saying they thought the visuals were downgraded, and I'm just like, maybe in like the open world aspect of things, if you hadn't looked at like a lot of the content that Shift Up had put on their webpage on the game while it was in development, a lot of that stuff is stuff I had already seen, and not like exactly seen that, but I've seen assets like that already from them, so I wasn't surprised by the way the environments look. But I did like the different outfits that the main protagonist had, and I thought the combat looked, because my whole concern with them is that their prior history has been very much like thirst trap kind of mobile games, and this was still kind of a thirst trap with the main character, but a little bit more serious, something a little bit more legitimate on like the gameplay side of things. And I think that I'm kind of getting a feeling like this might be kind of like a Kingdom Bridge of Spirits kind of situation where you got a developer that's like kind of new to this, but they could have nailed it. I think that might be the case with them. Something I was kind of disappointed about though is, and maybe it's just me and I got myself hyped up for it because I really enjoyed the game, but that Until Dawn remaster had me like, what did they remaster? Like, I'm just like, what am I looking at?
You can tell?
No.
Ray trace shadow reflections and all the other.
They actually said that?
No, I was
like, I ain't seen none of that. The only thing I saw that looked different really was a little bit extra detail in the environments and the killer's mask.
I mean, it's a remaster,
but there are remasters that really like elevate the way a game looks. I'm not expecting a
The
remake.
lighting looked better to me. That's about it.
The first game ran on Decima engine.
I think they're just using this game as a way to build up the studio, put out more games, because a lot of the team worked on the original game.
Yeah,
Is it
Supermassive.
something Moon?
Old Supermassive, yeah.
Ballistic Moon.
Yeah, Ballistic Moon
Ballistic
is the
Moon,
actual port studio. Supermassive did the original game.
But
And-
my understanding is that
But a lot of people from Ballistic Moon
Yeah.
are from Supermassive.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly,
but
yeah.
that would make sense. But it just can we? The first game ran on Decima engine, and Decima, and back then that's like 2015. Decima engines looked good then, and it's aged okay, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean that game has
They're
aged
okay.
okay. No.
Did
Let me
you say Decima
clarify.
Yeah.
No. Let me clarify. Until Dawn has aged okay. Decima engine has upgraded, and so, and this is what I'm saying. Where maybe I hyped myself too far up, because me knowing what the game was built on, and if they're doing a remaster, they're probably just going to do an upgraded remaster off the same engine, and seeing what is done in Decima engine now, with even though I like to give Kojima crap, but Death Stranding visually looks awesome. We see what Gorilla, who made the engine, does with Horizon. I'm thinking like, oh my god, they about to be Until Dawn about to look great, and then I see it and I'm like, what?
They went the affordable route.
Right?
Snap it over.
Like, what is this? And then I started thinking, because I'm live, so I'm trying not to really go in. But I'm just like, what if maybe the PC version going to be the one that's going to have all the bells and whistles? But then I think about how Horizon Forbidden West looks on PS5, and I'm just like, nah, that can't. No. It's the same engine. Like, how is it? It just don't even. When they showed Hayden Panettiere's face, I was like, that looks exactly the same. Like, there's no improvement, ain't no detail, ain't like any facial blemishes or nothing. Like nothing. Like, I can't see a little peach fuzz mustache, anything, nothing. Like, maybe I'm asking for too much. I don't know, but
you might be asking for too much, Slobo.
I really enjoyed Until Dawn, so I'm going to get it on PC regardless, right?
As you should.
If it was a straight port, I would get it on PC.
Yeah. Well, it's coming.
But I just expected more. That's all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy that over, because the game runs 4K 60 on PS5 through PS4. So unless that's like some kind of you got it because you already bought it type of thing, like you get the upgrade, but I don't see me buying that over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the game, don't get me wrong, but yeah, from what you're saying, Slomo, it's like, okay, it looks whatever. Yeah.
That is Supermassive's best game. It is their best game.
Yeah.
And it's the last time. Well, yeah, it's the only time, because their first game is a lead studio. It was the only time their full studio worked on one game, and the characters were well fleshed out. They had layers. They weren't like one-dimensional little, like, really generic. Okay, this is the funny guy. This is the real serious one. Here's the party girl. It's just like, yeah, they had some of those archetypes, but as you played the game, you started to see who they really were underneath it all, right? And none of the other games have that. You play the Dark Picture games.
I like those games. Oh, you don't like them?
I have a love.
Wait, you know what I like about
which one?
Any of those
So the
Dark Pictures games.
The one I finished, I think.
Okay. What was the last? What was the last one called? Where it was like
Devil in Me, right? Isn't that the latest one? Oh no, you're talking about Quarry.
Well, that one.
Yeah, that's their last game. But the
Devil in Me almost made. I barely was able to finish it, and then once it was done, I said I cannot keep playing these games every year. And I'm glad they didn't come out with one last year, because I felt like they needed to give themselves more time. I feel like they started to fall into that Telltale trap where Telltale was just like throwing games out. But the level of quality was getting diluted with every release. I feel like that's what's going on with Supermassive. I liked the first one, which was Man of Medan. The second one
I just finished. It's not that good. It's isn't that House of Ashes? House of Ashes.
House of Ashes.
Story at the I don't want to talk spoilers, I guess, but at the end I'm like, really? That wasn't rewarding.
Yeah. Little Hope.
Oh wait, maybe I'm thinking Little Hope.
Little Hope is the one that takes place in the town.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yo,
I'm sorry, not House of Ashes. Little Hope. Yes, Little Hope sucks.
Yeah, House of Ashes is the military one that takes place in Iraq or Saudi Arabia.
I heard that one's good.
It's decent.
That's the one that I like. That's the one that I like.
Yeah, it's now The Quarry is like them trying to do Until Dawn, but all their writing talent left, and because the thing is with Until Dawn is that like there was no like plot holes or that you could be like, why didn't they just do this? And then be like, this is stupid. In The Quarry, the freaking werewolves are afraid of water. You're on a lake. You got boats. Just row out into the middle of the water and wait until the sun comes up, stupid. And they even, this is what irked me, is one of the characters even says it. And they go, oh, but we freeze to death in the water. You have boats. You don't need to just be in the water. Like, just, oh, y'all, this dumb. One character, the only reason they're even in that predicament, one character is stuck on some girl that who he hooked up throughout the summer. She dumped him right before they were going to leave. He wanted to have one more night with her, so he sabotages their minivan, their van, or their truck or whatever, so they can't leave. He even asked another character, hey, how do I sabotage this vehicle? And she goes, oh, you just do this. He does it. And then later on, they're all like, what's wrong with the vehicle? She's standing right there and she doesn't say, wait a minute. You asked me how to sabotage this. I know how to fix it. Or he did it. And it's just like, are y'all kidding me? It's like the dumbest writing in the world. It's so bad. I'm just shocked at how far they've fallen from Until Dawn to The Quarry. And that's why I was just like, when I found that they wasn't doing another Dark Pictures game last year, I was like, well, hallelujah. Maybe they learned something. Maybe they realized they need to let this cook a little bit longer. Because good grief, I'm just like, these are the dumbest characters ever.
Really quick, guys, I wanted to talk about State of Play. This is one of the most... I've never really sat through an entire State of Play and really smiled through the whole thing. I know Slow-Mo does not like Kojima Productions, but I honestly loved the whole thing, and I was just happy that this actually happened. So Stellar Blade, awesome. I think it was B Money who mentioned Koei Tecmo games and Ronin. Whenever Koei Tecmo or like the Team Ninja team releases a game, my money is just like leaving my bank account to them. Like when Wolong got announced, even though Wolong isn't really my favorite and maybe it's like a 75 out of 10 to me, I just like, I have to have it. So seeing the open world and some of the combat, some of the complex architecture, I feel like from an exploration standpoint, it does feel like what Neo could have been. I mean, not saying that Neo should change. I'm fine with the zones, but I like the idea of like open exploration. Love that. I already mentioned Stellar Blade, and Slow-Mo already mentioned about Dragon's Dogma 2 looking really good. Man, I don't know what I'm going to do with my money. It's just so crazy how many awesome games are coming out. But one thing I wanted to address back, and shout out to Mooch on Crossfire. I was very concerned for how Silent Hill was going to look because I don't trust Bloober Team. And obviously we saw it today.
I call them Boo Boo Team.
Boo Boo Team. I told Mooch back on Crossfire that if 10 out of 10 would be super concerned about the quality of that game, I'm about a 6 out of 10. That was before seeing State of Play. After seeing the State of Play, I'm probably still like I'll be nice and say now I'm a 5 out of 10 on concern, because the ambiance and the enemies and the movements of the enemies, to me, I was like, okay, Bloober has gotten that. But what I didn't like is how the main character moved, and especially how he used the weapons. It just didn't feel right. And the sound engineering for the guns sounded like, I don't know, I made them on some like MIDI player that I found on, in a 5-second Google search. So I just don't know. I'm curious what you guys thought about Silent Hill.
I was on that same show with you, Kofi, when we talked about Silent Hill 2 on Mooch's show. And I told you guys, I do not trust Bloober Team, and I still don't.
They boo-boo team.
Yeah,
They a boo-boo team.
I cannot get excited for anything that they work on, because I just don't have faith that they'll make anything that's good.
Same, bro.
They are a boo-boo team until they prove otherwise, man.
I'm not going to call them that, but I don't disagree.
They're just like the medium is not. I don't think it was a good game.
I didn't play it.
And I kind of figured the way Silent Hill 2 was going to look was. I don't play horror games anyway, but I just kind of figured the way it looked, it was just going to turn out that way. I was like, of course.
Yeah, the Silent Hill short message stealth drop today, that was cool. I did like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Any stealth drop is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Free game at that.
Yeah,
available
free.
now. Go for it. Whether you feel like it's you're gonna dig it or not, I think that's worth it. Or at least try it. Yeah.
Yeah. E, do we get your thoughts on the State of Play?
Yes.
Okay, and then Kofi, we got your thoughts. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, just real happy.
Slow-mo, okay, yeah. So I'm going to say the game that really stood out to me was, if you've listened to BRAP, you know that I'm a little bit Kojima biased. Death Stranding 2 on the beach looked incredible. We talked about the Decimate Engine earlier. That game looked incredible.
Yo, I put the shot of when they showed the blink, like the woman blinking.
Yes,
shows her. I thought that was real. That looks insane.
The picture you tweeted, when you like just looking at it, looks like a real person.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, it is insane. The Decimate Engine is. I was just like, this is probably the best looking game I've seen this gen. It is like wow. Now, to Slow-mo's dismay, he did go full Kojima. He did have the talking. I don't know what that's like, a ventriloquist. I don't know what it is. What is that?
I love those, but I love the feeling that he invokes when I watch his games. Like I have these. What is that? But I kind of like that.
I mean, I don't disagree,
because there's so much stuff that I'm numb to. Like in the opening scene where this girl has hands for a mask. I'm like, what is this even about? But I love it.
The hands are handing her shit, which is funny.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
This dude is like, stay off the weed.
Yeah, he's definitely on something.
This dude had what you call the frame rate, Slow-mo, the puppet.
Yeah, moving
the Spider-Verse
frames per second. I'm just like,
everyone's
like, oh my God, it's amazing. I'm
it had the nerve to say, "Do not put me by your ass." Come on, dog.
That was funny. He's like, Sam, you gotta put me on, by your butt.
Isn't it a buttock, Sam?
Yeah. Can I ride shotgun?
I always thought that was funny, like watching Mimir bouncing around off the back, like Kratos or whatever. Kojima's out there, man. That's what I like about him. He's like, I don't give a fuck what y'all think. This is a high design game.
Well, we've talked about Death Stranding numerous occasions on this show. We talk about the voice acting. That one scene with is it Die Hard Man and Sam Porter?
Yeah, man. At the end of the game, which that performance was
that performance, I was like, I literally put the controller down. I was like, wow. I mean, the writing, the emotion conveyed in that scene. It is, and even, I mean, we know that the Troy Baker's character's back. I forget the character's name of that, but Troy Baker's back.
Hey, but he was another one in that game that his performance was like off the chart.
But
you know, I know people love him or hate him or take him or leave him, but I'm like, in that performance was dope.
He was great. Yeah, Troy Baker has so much range. His range is just incredible as a voice actor. But like even his the guitar that he used as a weapon, I thought it was actually pretty cool. I am really excited for. I cannot wait to play this game. I cannot wait to play it. It looks amazing. We're gonna meet. We didn't get to see all the characters. I'm sure there's gonna be an interesting cast of characters that we're introduced to, new characters. And if it's anything like the first game, and I think you guys remember, I said that when the first game came out, was my game of the year. I'm just excited like for this game. I just think it's going to be a great game. But like Slow-Mo says, you never go full Kojima, right, Slow-Mo?
Never.
Yeah. Slow-Mo, are you going to try to play this game?
No.
All right.
I'm good.
So it sounds like me, B Money, Eric, and Kofi. Are you? It sounds like you're interested in Death Stranding too.
Day one.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, day one for me. It's
the name leaves a little bit to be desired. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, what is it?
It makes me think of like Half Baked. He's like right near the beach.
Boy. Samson Simpson. If I wasn't from Jamaica, would I be wearing this hat? No, but on the beach, but that goes back to On the Beach is that's a reference to the first Death Stranding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But still, it's like Death Stranding 2, man. Let's just go. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
On the beach.
The title makes you think there's going to be a third one.
You think so?
It's like a saga.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I tell you, I thought after the first one that was it. I didn't think we'd get a sequel. Hey, B, the person that you mentioned who looks like her face looks realistic.
Yeah.
That was so in the first game they used to burn the bodies, right?
Right.
This person looks like they recovered the burned body and were doing something. Like they bring him back to life or something.
Yeah, it looks crazy, man.
Yeah.
They're doing something strange for a little piece of change.
Yeah. And you see Fragile, you see that I forget the corporation that Sam Porter worked for. Was it Bridges?
But that's what they used to do back in the day, though.
Yeah, they used to burn the bodies, yeah.
Yeah. They come around and collect them.
Yeah. But it sounds like there's a new company now that's handling like the deliveries. It's not. I'd have to go back and watch the video again, but I think it was it Fragile who mentioned that she started a new company or something, or
she got a new squad.
Okay.
So that's where we'll see like all the new characters, I'm guessing.
Okay. I thought she was a great character in the first one too.
Yeah, she was, man.
And
she looked incredible in the game. Like all the characters in the game just look absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, and they look like the actors that played them.
Yeah.
I forget who played Die Hard Man with Tommy. What's his name? I can't remember.
Forget it. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
and then serious. I seen him on Twitter. That was like his main thing.
Yeah. Then Kojima announces a new action espionage project. It looks like they're doing this in conjunction with Columbia Pictures.
Well, he gonna get all the tapping into everything Sony. You know what I mean? So he gonna have some Sony music in there. He gonna use Columbia Pictures, using Decima. You know what I mean? He tapping in. So everybody gonna eat.
Yeah, and they mentioned that. He actually mentions that Sony has these different entertainment avenues, movies, music, and then as they pan out, you see that they're at Columbia Studios.
Yeah.
So what was that?
Where you guys at with
What was that like trying to let us know that they are doing something movie related, or is it just, hey, we doing mocap on the mocap? Like we mocapping everything. We gonna mocap the trees.
What is mocap
Like,
on the mocap?
hey, it's even bigger mocap. You know, it's look, that Monster Energy drink that we put in the last game, but imagine we got real Red Bulls in the game. Okay, that's how we're gonna roll this time.
You would be day one if they had Red Bulls in there.
I might partake. Hey, I might partake.
Yeah,
I think they could be doing something movie related. He is working on a.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if they're doing some movie related,
right? And but it's not with Sony. So, but if he said he's tapping into everything Sony this time, so maybe they do do some sort of production later down the line.
Let me say this though, right? If I'm Xbox, I'm sitting here and I'm like grinding my teeth, like I'm fuming. Why?
Yeah.
Did you see that foolishness they put up? What are we paying for?
What foolishness?
We got actresses screaming at cameras and Kojima incoherently explaining what this game is at the Video Game Awards. Then he gonna turn around a month later and say, I'm exclusively working with PlayStation on an action espionage game. Everyone immediately said, oh, he's doing his own Metal Gear. And I'm just like, if I'm Xbox, I'm like, why couldn't you do that with me?
I think Xbox had a very limited budget. They were like, hey, we'll give you, a couple million. What will you give us?
Oh, like, they get what they deserve then. They get what they deserve. Yeah,
I'll give you my new hires and let them.
Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm sorry I'm late. We had a lot of technical difficulties on the trophy room this week, but we made it through. How's everybody doing?
What's your Your timing is perfect. We're talking about State of Play, and we're talking about Kojima. But let's go to you, Mr. Babbitt, real quick.
Okay.
Your thoughts on the show and what you're looking forward to.
I enjoyed it quite a great deal. I'm not saying this is like the second coming. Absolutely not. In retrospect, I need to state this. The showcase last year, I gave it like a 6. That was just all right. Tad this now. If I had to retrospect, look at it now, probably a 5 or a 4. Not good. Not a good showcase. That said, walking out of this State of Play, easily the best State of Play that they've done. I think this State of Play and last have both been really solid of what I want to see. When I take a look at Showcase, I don't look at the production. If I take a look at the production of it, then that's a failure of the production. It shouldn't be in my way of looking at the product, right? So I don't really take a look at like pacing, for example. That being said, it's a solid B. This is a really good showcase that had me excited to what to expect from PlayStation from now until May. And after May, we still have question signs as to what is going to be that Spider-Man, that God of War, type game. Are we going to get that here? I thought for a second that was going to be Death Stranding, but this State of Play was definitely an X-Dev State of Play. This is definitely a second-party, third-party State of Play. That being said, though, super excited about Stellar Blade, respectfully. Super excited about Rise of Ronin and Final Fantasy. Though we get an announcement of a State of Play. So, like,
that was cool.
That's really cool. That was pretty cool. And, like, things that to be on the lookout for next year. Death Stranding looks fucking awesome, dude. When he goes to him, when Riggs goes to Sam, he's like, "You traded your rope for a stick." I'm like, "Oh shit!" This is all about action here. This is great. This is awesome.
I could have wrote that line. That's nothing.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
I'm just You know what I'm doing. My bad.
So-
Continue, Gabby.
Slandering, boy.
Like,
He does not appreciate the genius that is Hideo Kojima.
no, he doesn't. This is disrespectful. But like that type of stuff, awesome. I really dug that. There's just still have questions that next showcase has to answer. We thought we were gonna get Concord here. At least that's what some of the leaks and rumors suggested. Not the case. Which actually, now thinking about it, I'm a little surprised by. But that showcase, we're gonna get hopefully the answers we're looking for. If not, oh boy, it's gonna be rough. But other than that, I thought it was, again, a good show. I'm gonna be picking up 5 games out of 15. I think if I'm picking up 5 games out of 15, a third showed, it's a good state of play.
Yeah.
Question for you, Mr. Badbit. What did
Yeah.
you think of this service-based game that's getting ported to PlayStation called Zenless Zone Zero?
Oh man, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna get into the weebs about it,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'll just say that I'm particularly not a fan of like that style game, which is again, I don't know what's the difference of why that doesn't get me, but Stellar Blade does. Maybe it's like the lack of like anime cel shadedness that I see. But like I understand that game's gonna do freaking gangbusters. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's not. Like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin, the partnership that they seem to have with PlayStation. Yeah, I could understand why. It makes them a shit ton of cash. So while I'm not a fan of it, I know, you weebs are gonna eat it up. Respectfully.
Yeah, not a game that I'm interested in, but I see your point there, Mr. Babbitt.
I always play their game. Like I play Genshin Impact, and then I try to stay as free as possible. And then once it gets to the point where it's like, yo, I can't really enjoy this any further unless I start spending money, I drop out. I did that with Genshin, and I did that with Honkai Star Rail. Although I kind of like Star Rail a little bit more than Genshin because the turn-based action and the animation was just beautiful. This one, I'm probably.
What about Foam Stars, guys?
Huh?
What about Foam Stars?
Not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea.
We playing with Foam?
No, I'm not playing with Foam.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it for a weekend. It has me for a weekend. We're gonna see where we go from there. I'm a huge Splatoon fan. If anybody knows me, has been following my work, y'all know that I unabashedly love Splatoon, and I think it's Nintendo's best like new IP they've had in years. Like I love it. So I'll give Foam Stars a shot for sure. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, look, I tell you what, with Splatoon, I thought I was going to hop on the online servers there when it first came out. I thought I was going to just wreck shop. No.
No.
There's actually some competition there.
Yeah, let me tell you, there are some people in internet cafes that are going to make us look embarrassed.
Yeah, I came in there thinking, I play Call of Duty. I'm going to play this paint game. No.
You're not teaching anyone a lesson there.
No.
Again,
I was
once
surprised.
you see some like Japanese lettering, you're like, oh shit, I'm in for it. This is going to be rough.
That's like my experience when Street Fighter came to Xbox Live like 20-something years ago, and you would play with people in Japan. They would because you would know that you would see the region, you would say hello. They wouldn't say anything. You just go in and whip your ass.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, it's the Empire of the Rising Sun. I think I'm screwed on this one, but yeah, no, listen, not for me, but whatever. It's free. I'll try it.
Yeah. But look, I back to Death Stranding though. I think it looks, like I said, as you jumped on it, it looks incredible. Like B Money posted that screenshot. Looks almost lifelike.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. I think Hideo Kojima is a genius. I love that he's making an action espionage game that looks good. It looks like it sounds like it's going to have some kind of tie-in with Sony Pictures. It looks like it's going to be some kind of movie adaptation.
Yeah. Listen, I definitely tune into this week's trophy room because we're describing it. We're cracking up. We're like, please take our word for it. It's it's the weirdest shit you're ever gonna see, but like we're into it. It looks so bonkers. It looks so crazy, but like he does such a good line of towing the line of like this is absolutely ridiculous, and then somehow veering off course into this looks actually incredible. So. Yeah. I don't know what Kojima, like the spell he has over us as a whole, but like, listen, I'll watch Hunter Schafer yell at me for 30 minutes, and the old dude. Yeah.
Mr. Badbit, I think it's because no one does what he does.
No, on the level at which he does.
Yeah,
I think there are a few people. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like we talked about, Eric and I were just talking about the scene at the end, towards the end of Death Stranding between Sam Porter and Die Hard Man. That emotional outpouring. What a powerful scene in that game. And then
So damn good.
yeah, it's just like how like the character development, how different each character is, unique each character is. Like we talked about Fragile. Like Fragile in the first game, she's one of my favorite characters in that game.
Oh yeah.
And then the one thing that people don't realize at Death Stranding, like you joke around, you carry packages on your back, but there's some tense moments in that game.
Oh yeah. The Fragile scene of like, how she gets her name and all that shit. Like, that game's incredible. I'm jealous. I know there's one of my buddies who's playing it for the first time, and he just got to the Heartman section, and like that is seriously some. If there was a video game that moment I could wipe my memory of and go back and revisit, it's that. Like, I'm happy to see more and more people play it, whether it's on iOS now or like Game Pass or PC, because like. I see legitimate excitement for this game of like people going, listen, I know this is crazy, but this game is so damn good. Like, you actually have a fan base that's excited for it more than just the name of Kojima. So to me, when we get Herman then talking with Kojima on the PlayStation stage going, we're making for lack of better words, a Metal Gear Solid spiritual successor. Okay, let's do it. And it's skirting the lines between game and actual movie. Like they're working with Columbia Pictures.
Yeah.
Like
that's pretty cool.
It's gonna be interesting. Again, few people can do it like Kojima, and no one can do it on the level of Kojima. So it's cool.
We'll say that's a cool. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kofi.
Well, I was just going to add really quick, Herman being part of the studio that created the Decima engine, and then it just feels like a perfect moment that maybe if Herman wasn't in leadership for the, at least for the studios at this point, maybe Kojima wouldn't have had an opportunity like this. So I'm glad that the chips kind of fell this way.
Oh yeah, I think PlayStation knows Kojima's influence, and that's why like his games don't need to sell, hotcakes, as it were. Like his games, they don't need to be the blockbusters they are, because culturally the impact that he has on not just like games but also movies, cinema, and all that stuff. I think that's important for Sony. Sony really likes the idea that their games could be taken, I guess, a little bit more, for lack of better words, like seriously. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. There's that one scene in the footage they showed today. Troy Baker's character, where he's fighting those robots and he slides under the blade, that sword. And did you see his hair, the movement?
Yeah.
Like
that
I was
like, guitar.
Just those small, like the little tiny attention to detail, those little things. I was like, wow. It seems it seems so simplistic, but it's just that attention to detail that Kojima puts in his games. That little slide and the hair moving. I say there's some kind of like effect that was going on too around his hair, I think.
Yeah. There's even some there's some numbers coming out of Fragile's breath when she breathes. So
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my buddy Logan shared that. So that's pretty wild.
There's probably some meaning in that.
Yeah. Who knows? And maybe it's just bullshit, because you know him. He's a weird guy.
Well, he has the what Slomo was excited for, that ventriloquist looking thing.
Alan, we have to go back to writing. We gotta finish this book, Alan. But I'm a puppet.
Yeah.
It's like that's like the top of like, dude, that is outrageous. That is, I'm looking at it, I'm like, if you or anyone else, understand this. If you were anyone else, I'd be making fun of you right now. But you're a goddamn genius, and I realize that,
Right.
Mr. Beth, I don't disagree. If there's anyone else doing that, they're like, a puppet? Are you kidding me? They'd get the playoffs. Playoffs?
Is Elmo gonna walk in?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
No, but we look at it, we're like, oh, that's genius, Kojima. And you know, there's probably some great dialogue between Sam Porter and that doll.
Oh, for sure. He's gonna be our little Mimir, you know. And also, I love like we're watching it on stream, and he's just like he hooks him in the back, and he's like, I hate what are you getting me in this view for? See, and he puts him like right by his package. He's like, this is the spot I like the most. It's like, dude, you're gonna get hit by this guy's dong. What are you talking about?
He's like,
your whole body's gonna get hit.
Oh,
it's like, it's my favorite view. I'm like, all right, a little bit personal, don't you think? But all right, whatever. Different strokes for different, puppets or Muppets.
Yeah, Bronny says Kojima takes these influences from film.
Yeah, he's a big movie buff.
100%.
Yeah.
What'd you say, B?
So yeah, he's a big movie buff.
Oh yeah, absolutely is. Yeah. Yeah, and is Guillermo del Toro, is he also in the sequel? I thought I may have heard his voice.
Yeah, you hear him at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Guillermo's gonna be there somewhere.
Yeah. Again, just a stunning. This game looks stunning. So I think it's a 2025 release for Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Again, we're seeing a lot of 2025, but what about the end of 2024? What's happening there, guys?
It's where Concord is going to release, man.
And now, how do you guys feel about like Concord not being there? Again, I forgot. Again, that was like one of the little rumors that was supposed to be. But
that's what I mentioned when they asked me about the show.
Yeah.
It was the one mission that they've been talking about, saying that it's releasing this year, and we still have not seen it.
Yeah.
But like I said, with this show, they have shown and put a date on everything that they've talked about, besides Concord and Silent Hill. So the next show should be at least Concord. We should get a date on Silent Hill, and then hopefully some new stuff, in that show, because everything else that they've talked about up until this point will have released, or be right around the corner. So
it could be interesting to see.
Pretty exciting.
And I think that's a show where I think they delivered here. I think they did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
But I think like as showcases are concerned, this next one has to mean something. Last year we can't have a repeat of last year. If we have a repeat of last year, for me, it's like we have a problem at Mission Command, and we need to start talking, because last year's was not good in the slightest. Well, that's just me.
All right, gentlemen. It is past the 11 o'clock hour. Do need to wrap up the show here, but Mr. Babbitt, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come on.
Listen, here. I wish I was here earlier, man. I'm so sorry about that. I
no
sounded
worries.
very Canadian.
No worries.
I'm so sorry about that, gentlemen. But
no worries.
I had if it could go wrong, it can tonight, recording and streaming. So I'm glad I made it when I did at least.
Yeah, we're timing perfect. We right in the middle of the conversation around this state of play. So
find me wherever at Mr. Babbitt and the Trophy Room of PlayStation podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast service of choice. We're there. I know Google Play actually it's not going to be a thing soon, so I guess just Spotify and like Apple Podcasts and wherever pods can get caught, and also the video version over on YouTube. We typically record at 8 p.m. each and every Wednesday, or catch us on the VOD the day afterwards. So.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Babbitt, for the plug. Appreciate it. And also, real quick, want to give a shout out to everyone in the live chat. Please do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And want to give another thank you to one of the other guests this evening, Creative Kofi. Kofi, the Atlas Gods. Thank you again for jumping on tonight.
Absolutely, man. It is great being here and catching up with all you guys, especially because my work schedule has been a little bit different this year. But as usual, you can catch me on Twitter, or Twitter, I guess it's X now, creative_Kofi. Just pinned a post up there of my review of the imported Falcom action game East 10 Nordics. I kind of went on a nice little positive rant about it. So if you guys are excited for the localization, definitely check that out. But otherwise, I will see y'all online.
Awesome. And then Eric Jackson, BRAP alumni. Always a pleasure having you on here, E. Thank you again, man.
Excuse me. No problem, man. Appreciate you guys having me. Great conversation. Yeah, man. Play some games, dude. You have a lot of options. Shouldn't be anybody on the timeline saying it's dry out here.
It's definitely not dry out here. Yeah, definitely not dry. Nope. But E, I don't know if you want to be found. If you do, let everyone know they can find you.
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It'll always be Twitter to me. I'm not calling that shit X.
Yeah, I've already
no facts. I hate that.
So yeah, you can find me on Twitter, EC Jackson with an X.
Yeah. All right. No, thanks for that, E. And E, always a pleasure, man. Always great having you on. And then we got Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap. Went full Kojima, lost everything. You got a show tomorrow, I think, right? Do we lose Slow-Mo?
Rest in peace, Slow-Mo. I think we do that. I think he has DPS podcast.
Slow-Mo had enough of that.
He fell asleep.
That Kojima talk.
Exactly. He fell asleep about Kojima. He's like, I had enough. I'm going to go take a nap.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done. All right. Well, big shout out to Slow-Mo. DPS podcast tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know whose channel it's going to be on, but it'll be either your Slow-Mo Backslap channel or Gaming Forte YouTube channel or the DPS YouTube channel as well. So then we got B Money. B, always a pleasure. If you want to be found, sure. I don't know if you do, let everyone know where they can find you.
If you want to find me, you know my name. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, no doubt.
Great show.
No doubt. Thank you.
Appreciate the guests coming through. Lots of games to play. So get off Twitter and go play video games, people. Please.
Yeah, please. That's well said. Lots and lots of games. 2 releases the next 2 days. So 3 actually. 3 bigger releases that we talked about earlier in the show coming out tomorrow and Friday. So yeah,
I'm the only person that likes Suicide Squad a lot, and I'm gonna die in that hell. So
hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that, Mr.
I talked about that earlier, man.
Yeah,
you gotta die on that hill because it's fun. I'm sorry. Flash sucks anyway. I don't know if if anybody ever realized.
Hey, don't.
Oh, Joe, we can't have Flash Leonard, man.
Yeah.
So you see that film?
He just doesn't get proper. Well, no. The movie you can slander that shit all day long. That's Ezra Miller. That's an Ezra Miller. You can slander that one all day long. I'm just saying Flash in general.
Flash is my favorite superhero. At least.
Oh, really?
On the DC
they didn't do him any justice in the DCEU, man. So we have to. They need a redo on that one, a mulligan or whatever you want to call it.
Mulligan, yeah.
They need a lot of those, dude.
But
it's a kind of a shame when your Flash movie. The best thing about your Flash movie is the Keaton play.
And then the worst part is also what happens to Keaton.
Yeah.
Well,
again, thank you to our guests this evening. Appreciate it, gentlemen. And like B Money said, hey, there's a lot of games to play. Go play some video games. Have fun doing so, because ultimately that's what it's about. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So thank you again. We'll catch you next time.